So the title of today's public talk is Transforming Life Through the Power of the Soul. And that title is quite promising, but challenging at the same time. Because its statement, transforming life, presents it with a number of questions by its mere formulation. Because what is transformation? And in which direction should we transform? Backwards, forwards, upwards, inwards maybe? Or is there maybe a direction we didn't think of as yet? And what is the soul? What is the power of the soul? What is it? And is there a practical way that you can apply that power? And can it be so practical that it can actually transform our lives? We hope to convey the very concrete and practical message of the School of the Golden Rosy Cross, which is, firstly, each human being has an innate power that is potentially transforming and eventually transfiguring. Secondly, we have two souls. Thirdly, the human being is a very beautiful being. He is namely twofold. He is mortal as to the personality and immortal as to the indwelling original human being. And fourthly, there is a direction in which we can transform, or rather be transformed, and which is intended for all of humankind and presented to us through the universal Gnostic doctrine of all times. And that direction is a path. It's the path to our original home. So let us explain. Our nature is a visible manifestation, a 3D print, if you wish, of its underlying immaterial concept. There is a plan. An immaterial plan, a recipe, if you wish, a formula, underlying our existence. And the earth, all living creatures on it, you and me, our solar system, our universe have a task to fulfill. And their task is it not only to sustain the biological life on it, which is birth, maturation and decay, birth, maturation, decay, the whole cycle of life, but primarily to create and support all the opportunities for human beings, experiences, teachings, creating memories, and that word is very important, memories, for the human being to become aware of himself as a mortal being and conscious of his own twofoldedness. And the one is that we're mortal beings, the other side is that we carry an immortal being within us. Twofold. The ultimate task of each human being is to bring back to life the dormant original human being, which lies waiting for the kiss of life in the birth cave of our hearts. Because only after this kiss of life in the heart can the mortal human being remember, we have the memory aspect again, who he or she really is. And where we say he, we also refer to she or neutral, but to make it less complex, we use he. If that happens, the kiss of life in the heart, a special emotion arises in the heart. We call that the pre-remembrance of home, the great homesickness. This kiss is very transforming in itself because it redirects our gaze, our seeking, away from the biological 3D print life in the direction of home. Although we at that moment then still don't know where to go. We still don't know the direction. We only know there is something there where we want to go, the homesickness. And the kiss or the touch of the divine human, original human being by the life force coming from its divine realm, domain of existence, is called the Gnostic light, or the Gnosis, which is emanated by the spiritual sun. The kiss or touch of life in our dual world is the light of our visible sun, because we all know how without our sun, life on earth would be impossible. So, when this pre-remembrance, this stream of otherworldly memories arises in our hearts, you can be sure that it's the first sign of the awakening of the immortal other one within you, that your heart was touched by the light of the Gnosis. And do you know that light is information, communication, knowledge? So when your heart is touched by the Gnosis, it touches that divine element within you. Knowledge about yourself, your true self, pours itself out in your heart. And from that moment on, you know from within, and without any doubt, that you felt that what you felt was amiss in your life does exist somewhere, but not in this 3D world. So in which direction should you look? And at this stage, from this moment on, you will be guided by two souls. The first soul is what we call your natural soul. It is the driving force underlying your life here in the 3D world. That soul, that natural soul, is the amalgamation of your ancestral inheritance, karma, life experiences, culture, food intake, upbringing, educations, etc. Everything that ensouls you to do, to like, to dislike, to not do in this world. But we need that soul to live in this world. But when at a given moment the divine other one within you is awakening, its knowledge, gnosis, and the pre-remembrance and the homesickness will provide a new dynamics, a new ensoulment to your life. So you have two souls from that moment on. The very powerful, old natural soul will seek to continue to propel you through this 3D world. And the very young, new, quote unquote, divine soul will urge you to seek beyond and outside this 3D world in a new direction. And you can imagine this is again another already transformed state of being, seeing from where you started. But it is still only the beginning. So how can we then use this new power of the soul, the new soul, to transform our lives? What should we do? Is there a practical path or what? We'll continue to explain. Our 3D world has the lofty task of bringing the immortal human being back to life, with the full support of the mortal human being, you and me. And you can be sure that everywhere in this world, you will be able to find universal principles of how that goes as signposts. Principles that show us how things work in the 3D world and that are analogous to the development of the new soul, but then on a higher rung of the spiral, or a higher octave, so to speak. And we would like to refer to a fragment from the New German Medicine by Dr. Hammer, a German doctor. And he states that our experiences in the 3D world, that we quote, not only define our sense of being alive here, but that they are also absorbed within our body and imprinted upon its systems. Our body is an extremely sensitive, calibrated time machine. We become what we experience in terms of how we perceive happenings within time. So we become what we experience in terms of our perception of what happens, and that etches itself into our body. Each cell is an innately intelligent, independent being, adjusting its biology to its own perception of the environment. And the cells in our body receive environmental signals through the central nervous system. But what happens is that they receive a perception of the environment as interpreted by the educated brain. And the cell membrane, the skin of the cell, functions as the information processor and evokes a cellular response. In the process of experience, cells acquire a memory. There you have that word, memory again. And breakthrough discoveries in cellular biology teach us that we're not controlled by our genes, but by our beliefs, our perceptions. We are the victims of our perceptions, and I think we can all confirm that within ourselves. And you can imagine, if we extend this example to the level of the cell and expand it, that our bodies also accumulate memories which determine our perception of the world around us. And our cells' memories come from our karma, come down via family lineage, acquired during the period we were in our mother's womb. But likewise, if you move a layer further, a group of humans with the same intentions draws around itself an energetic field with a boundary, a skin, a membrane, which functions as a cell membrane. And the humans in such a group, individually and collectively, gather and share their memories and create a sort of unified perception of the world around them. And this will in turn determine their responses to the outside world. And that is why we call that energy field of the Golden Rosy Cross the living body, made of living building blocks. And that living body is ceaselessly in motion and development. And in analogy with the above, we can also understand, further away, the memory of humankind, the Akasha Chronicles, and the macrocosmic memory. Everything that is or has ever been said, done, thought, lived through, conquered, struggled with, is not lost. It is available for every human being. But how can it be possible to transform our lives, as the title suggests, if our old souls in our world are so laden with memories? Because memories can't change themselves. You cannot undo memories. You cannot take out your body cells and replace them by new ones. We cannot wipe out the Akasha Chronicles. But wait, what about that new memory from the new soul? That pre-remembrance from the other one within us?
Yes, friends. We human beings are bound to this earthly life of duality, a life of opposites, turmoil, action and reaction, pleasure and pain, suffering and desire. Our personality and our personal energy field, that miniature cosmos, are bound by our life orientation, desires, karma, thoughts, and illusions, our current state of consciousness. This state of consciousness, friends, determines what we do, attract and do not attract. We will remain caught in our own web until our orientation changes through Gnostic activity in the heart. The memories that Tanya was speaking before of our original home, the memories. This is a liberating upward path of self-discovery, initiation, and transformation, moving from the outer conflict to the inner peace. Then, friends, you have reached that point in your lives where you have a degree of awareness inside of your imprisonment and a longing for inner peace. If you want to escape from this prison of duality and opposites, the only way out is through a change in your Gnostic activity in the heart. You need to open your life to this Gnostic power within you. You need to connect with the rosebud of the heart. For this, friends, we need to create space. As stated by one of the great masters, Jan van Reichenborch, in the Egyptian Art Gnosis, Book 1, Chapter 1, he who wishes to receive the love of God and so desires to be a true Gnostic should empty in himself of I-centeredness, unearthly ambition and action. Yes, friends, that's the key. This transformation will occur in the heart center. Therefore, there is a need of a change in our way of feeling, thinking, and willing to achieve this new state of consciousness. But as Tanya was explaining, we have just discovered how difficult, if not impossible, it is to change ourselves, because we are the victims of our own cell memories. So something has to happen. Human beings are twofold. Finite in the material, outward appearance, and infinite through the indwelling possibilities of the immortal microcosm and the latent soul. We are not referring to a spatial separation, but rather to a difference in vibration. Human beings can resolve this difference in vibration, this difference in consciousness and form of expression. We can elevate ourselves by inwardly distancing ourselves from the slow vibrations of matter, while attuning ourselves to the spiritual radiations. Then, friends, what can be called our vibration key changes immediately, and we enter a higher vibration, a higher reality. As above, so below. And remember that our thoughts are vibration. Really important. Going back to Jan van Rijkenborg, he stated in the Egyptian art Gnosis that self-sanctification, self-liberation, the path of healing begins with your thought life. This is why a practical redirection of thought is urgently necessary for all those who want to go the path. The way to self-liberation is purification of the thought life. To think truly, friends, to think the Gnosis in your heart, which thinks of unity, freedom, no conflict, harmony, friendship. Your self-revolution should begin in this way. You will then attract the power of the soul in your system, and you will bring it into circulation in your body system. Whoever begins the purification of his thoughts in this way begins to break the ties between the personality system and the grip of the karma. When one begins to change the mentality in the power of the Gnosis, then one is gradually freed from this fatal influence. Because what happens is this: you, friends, will create a continuum, an influx of Gnostic light substance in your heart. The love substance of the new life field will circulate in and around your mortal body in the form of new ethers and build up a new soul body around it, changing the consciousness of your individual body cells. We would like now, friends, to share with you a Gnostic formula, very practical, that you all can apply daily. Pay attention to your emotions, thoughts, and will. Observe them objectively, obtaining self-knowledge, because they stem from the memories of your personality showing themselves to your consciousness. As soon as you obtain results, please drive back all anxiety, worry, fear, judgment, and without reaction, and surrender to the unfolding law of God, the love within you, without resistance. The memories of the Gnostic light will descend upon your body cells and replacing the old memories by new ones, step by step and process by process. This process will transform your perception. It will show the new direction of your life, and you will change totally. It will move you away from the old path. Then you will be able to listen to the voice of the silence, where you will find the inner peace you have been looking for. In this way, the new consciousness is born. This new state of consciousness will bring the rebirth of the new soul, and you will enter in the original field of life. You will gain a deep understanding of who you really are and your connection with the oneness, the absolute unity, the Father, Mother. This will transform your life. This, dear friends, is the inner revolution. If you want to change the world, change yourself. Then, friends, we reach that point of transfiguration, which is the process in which mortal human beings devote themselves to the resurrection of the divine being. Just as the earthly human being is provided with a mortal soul and a mortal body, so the new being is provided with an immortal soul and an immortal body. The new body is not constructed according to the laws of this nature, but according to those of an entirely different order. The transmutation of the old human being into the new one is a process involving the entire person. And only through devotion, through surrender, self-surrender of the entire being, can this great renewal of a spirit, soul, and body take place. It is most important to begin. Just as our food and our breath continue to work in us, so to the living food of the divine love power of the Gnostic breath of life can make a turnaround in our life possible. The entire divine plan lies enclosed in this breath of life, in this food of life. In the Bible, this process is symbolically called the construction of a new temple. It is the making of gold in the spiritual sense. It is divine alchemy.